Yeah, it's what Gus just said.
I want to do. Where's option 3? I put it into an account.
We talked about that.
12% interest.
So notice that it says neither of them understand interest in savings accounts. So they're just shoving money under their bed or in their closet.
Yeah, they should really go to math class.
All right, ladies and gents, if I was you, I would get a clean sheet of graph paper just because even if you don't end up using it, it can just be filed away in your binder.
What?
What? Filed away? Is that what we're wanting? Or what are we wanting?
I'm wanting that I can't just do my math.
So,
Just want to get it done.
guys, this truly was, and I talked with my friend who's also a math teacher over the weekend. I talked with my buddy Randy. Okay, let's go ahead and name all my friends. So Dave, when I say Dave is my math teacher friend. He teaches kids slightly younger than me and used to teach 8th graders as well. Randy is my architecture dude. So Dave and I met in college. Randy and I met way back when we were like 14. So Randy and I have been friends for a long time. But they were actually like, well, yeah, duh, of course they struggled with that. And then I felt silly because my friends made me feel silly. But they're like, dude, if you haven't shown them a problem like this, setting up that equation is really complicated. I said, that's not what I asked them for, though. Do I, at any point, tell you that you specifically have to, like, give me an equation for both of them?
No, but like, what if you want to?
I agree. What if we want to, right? That's a thing we're going to end up wanting to do. But some of you were fighting with something we didn't need to fight with. The first thing I ask you to do in A is create one table with 3 columns representing each person's total amount they've saved after however many months. I set up by 30 months. Anyone able to guess why I go by 30 months? Because I like this number 60. Who knows why I like this number 60, Lily? That is after 5 years. That is right before Rochelle starts saving. So, if I set up a table like this for months, Henry and Rochelle, it starts to fill in like this. Here, I'll scooch this up. It starts to fill in like this, right? Henry has 500 when he starts, but Rochelle has nothing. After 30 months, Henry has 1,100. Rochelle has nothing. After 60 months, Henry's got 1,700. Rochelle's got nothing. But then I realized my jumping by 60 is quickly going to kind of get complicated because then all of a sudden Rochelle's got a bunch of money and Henry's got money. So then I expand my table a little bit. I slow down my growth. And I say, okay, instead of jumping by 30 months, let me just take a moment to go by 1 month. Max, you with me? I can't see your eyes. That's why I'm picking on you. Your head is on your desk. Anyone else who looks like they're halfway to sleep is going to get picked on too. When Henry is still investing $20 a month, Rochelle starts a much better idea. I'm going to invest more. But here's the issue. How do we write this as an equation when their X's didn't start at the same point? Don't yet. Guys, don't fight with something you don't know how to do. Do what you know how to do. So notice, how much will Henry already have when Rochelle starts saving? 1,700. That's this number right here. So part B, when it asks you how much will Henry have. And then C, how much will each have when they leave for college? This is where we all started to get confused. Is in question C, where we're asking, first off, if Henry has saved for 60 months when Rochelle starts saving, let's make sure we all agree with B. How much does Henry have when Rochelle starts? If we write it as a formula, you see how many times I can poke the screen in a row. Henry has 500 that Grams gave him. Grams, Grable. Plus $20 a month. If I write R equals 100M, this is wrong. This is wrong. You know that your hand being up doesn't just give you the permission to talk, right? It's not like some unlock access thing. Because I'm trying to give people time to think. This is wrong. Because think about what the graph would look like. If I keep these equations, which I'm going to go ahead and do this. If I keep these equations, Henry starts at what Grams gave him, goes up by $20 a month. Rochelle starts at nothing and goes up $100. Like, but do they start at the same place? No. So when we go to look at this, sure, Henry starts at whatever Grams gave him. Do not trust what my line looks like. I just slapped this on here super fast. But Rochelle starts 60 months into this. So Rochelle's line is going to start down here at $0, but go up more quickly. Are we all having some minor light bulb moments, potentially, maybe? Yeah, I mean, I don't care if your graph looks similar to mine. Now, hey, hold up. We're going to keep talking, like, all together for a minute, then I'll let you go. Brenda, what were you trying to say?
So would it then be 100m minus 16m? Because we only start, well, we start saving at 61 months. Like if we was like January 1st, we have $100. Start at 61 months. So would it be minus 61m because that's when she started?
If, guys, my work is not set up fantastically. I need to make you heavier. Dang it. It'll sit there on my cable. Hold on. The problem is I didn't set this up all really, really nice. If we're using Rochelle as my starting point, I can use my answer to part B and say, well, Henry's actually got 1,700 and will continue saving 20 each month, while Rochelle is just starting and saving 100M. But when I go to graph it, that's not going to be, like, that's not going to work right, because then I'm starting over here and Henry's got, like, so then I'd have to, like, almost start right here where I made my Rochelle start line. Sorry, guys, that's why my camera's so high up and, like, weird today, because I want to be able to see this whole piece of paper. So then I would start Henry at, like, 1,700. Oh, well, these are in, guys, notice what I put here for my label? Savings in thousands. I don't want to write 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I just want savings in thousands. Now, how do I know how high I go up? I got to answer part D first, or C. C and D, C or D. C, mainly C, not D. Sorry, I got to recenter myself. So, if we start here, Henry now has like 1,700 and continues to climb at $20 a month. But Rochelle is starting at nothing and goes up $100 every month. Or, exactly like what Brenda was just starting to say, if I want to use Henry's original equation and say, oh yeah, he's saving $20 a month starting at 500 because that's going to graph way nicer. It's going to graph way nicer. I could instead take 60 months away from Rochelle. Has she saved the same amount of M as Henry? No. She saved 60 months less than Henry. So I need to take 60 away from her amount of months.
Well, like,
Get that, try to put into words what you're confused about. All right, well then we're doing it together. I was hoping you would lead us there, but it's all good. Check it, whether you're on clean graph paper or the graph paper you already used. Work with me here. We are going to call Henry else heard what it sounded like. We're going to call Henry the thing we care about, the thing that starts at 0. So Grams gave him $500. Right, Grams gave him $500. If I forget Rochelle exists. Guys, Rochelle is the thing complicating this whole problem. Forget that she exists for a minute. If Henry saves until he goes to college, how many months is that? 152. So we're going to say Henry equals the 500 plus 20 times 152. Because we know how much he's going to save. Like, and how long, right? Solve this. This is our answer to part D of how much money will he have when he leaves for school. So, yeah, I was just debating if the green was...
It looks red.
It looks cool.
It looks like the outline.
Yeah, it
of
looks
it.
cool, but it's hard to see.
Yellow, do yellow.
Wait.
Wait, no, do not do yellow.
We're making Michigan colors. How dare you?
500
Don't do
start
yellow, just like don't do the cat.
plus
Yellow is not
20...
Michigan colors. They're Swedish colors. Oh, whoa. Kansas flag is blue and yellow.
Hey, you gotta have work showing because I know I'm doing this with you. Hold on. So, what does H equal then?
3,540.
Is there any question about how I figure out what Henry has when he leaves for college? Because I think if this is what I made the problem, y'all would have told me this was the E word.
You just added too many words.
It's a y-intercept, right? Grams gave me some money to start. It's a slope. I'm saving $20 each month. It's not even interest, right? It's not simple or compound or any type of interest. It's just continual investment in the coffee can. What's messing with you is getting Rochelle on here. Look, if you don't like my words, make somebody say it to you differently. It's not like the math is the math. You can complain about my words, that's fine, but you can rephrase it yourself as well. So I will not take responsibility for that. Anna?
So, you just said y-intercept, and that reminded me of something. On one of our homeworks, we have this thing which is like an x-intercept.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the x-intercept?
Is what the x-intercept?
The 60, like for Rochelle.
We're going to talk about Rochelle in a second. Right now, I'm still ignoring that she exists.
Is it
Like I used to do with my sister every now and then.
Dang, that's pretty hopeless.
Couldn't you just do the exact same thing? Call it an
Oh, dang.
Now, forget that Henry exists.
Hippie's not a middle
Oh,
child.
hold on. Just hang on. Well, go ahead and ask it, but
I just don't understand the y100x wouldn't work because it like with my
what do you mean y100x?
like for the Rochelle's their equation like y.
We're going to talk about that. So just hang on. Like literally like grab hold, hang on. Not hang on like wait, but like grab hold.
Wait, does x have to be the same for both of them? Because like
That's the question.
because for the 100x it wouldn't be the same.
Wouldn't it be the...
What does it have to?
If hey, to answer Amelia's question, yes. If I'm making one table and one graph, my x has to be the same. But, Amelia, just stick with me how we get there. When did Rochelle start with nothing? Was that 60 months? Because we said the 61st month was when she started. So, Rochelle starts at 60. But at x equals 60 because she's starting late. Then, oh crap, we were going to use this. This 3,540. Hey, this. 3,500. Henry's graph. All I really need is a start point and an end point.
Excuse this interruption. Could I please have Isabella Gonzalez to the office? Isabella?
I just realized depending on how I hold my paper, you guys can 100% see my answer key. So, then, how much is Rochelle saving every month? $100. So, if I think about how this is going to move forward, really bad picture, right? But we're going up 100 every time we're going over 1. How could I figure out her y-intercept? Even though it's not like realistic for this situation, how many times has our x gone up here? 60! X is at 60 right now. So what we're saying is how much money did you miss out on investing? How much money was in this amount of time? It's 60 times 100. Or watch how I get there. Watch, give me your eyes. Give me your eyes, give me your eyes. She invests $100 every month. However, her months are Henry's months. What? Minus 60 because she started late. So Rochelle's equation, if you really want it, and if we're going to use the same x or same m or whatever you call it, Rochelle's equation is really 100m because she's investing 100 each month minus 6,000. Even though she never had negative money, she missed out on $6,000 worth of investing if she started at the same time. So if, and guys, we don't need to show this, but if we care about where Rochelle starts, quote unquote, she starts at negative $6,000, even though that's not really real, just because she started late. She could have made $6,000 more.
But then you didn't really lose any money.
She didn't lose any money. She just didn't
You just didn't get
as much as she could have.
Then you want to analyze to answer part E. D, my bad, D, dog. To answer part D as in dog, we've talked about, okay, if the lines cross, there is an intersection. But in this situation, what it asks you is, is there a point where they will each have the same amount of money? Please keep your answers to yourselves. I know those of you that have already figured out would love to share your answer. The other thing you could do with that is like expand your table. So if I kept counting up, I just need to make that heavier, really. If I kept counting up 61, 62, 63, all the months, I then get into the 80s before my values get close. I get into the 80s before my values actually get close to each other. All right. Is this making a little bit more sense than it did on Friday? Okay. Have at it. I'm going to let you work for a little bit, and then we can come back together if we need to. Yes.
I've already had a failed graph because I tried to do the timing here. But I ended up only getting
For who?
Henry. I only got to
Now, I will tell you, this should not be 100 when this is 60, because that's actually in December of the previous year. It's 100 when this is 61. So that's one point where this is a tiny bit off.
So all of Rochelle's are just...
Yeah, but let me check on what is goofing with you, though.
I don't know what I did wrong.
I don't think you did anything wrong. I think what might be confusing you is that these jumps are not consistent, but our month jumps are not consistent. So from 0 to 30, that jumps by 600. From 30 to 60, we should also jump by 600, which we did. But then you only went a jump of 1 month. So you're only going to jump $20 or $100.
I know.
Is that what you're asking me?
Because when I was 30, I was here. 60, I was here. And then at 90, I was like here. Which would have put me under there.
Well, Henry's graph should stay a straight line.
Yeah, I know, but it's not. It's
What
not
is this vertical line for?
college?
That is not.
What? It's 92 months, right? 120.
Not after Henry starts. It might be 92 months for Rochelle, but we need them both to be talking about the same months.
Oh, no, it's 92 months after Rochelle's.
Ah, so we need to add the extra 60 months that
60.
Henry's already been doing it.
Wait, real quick. The sign up there, the math and the effects of 8 out of every 5.
Yeah.
It just
Math illiteracy means you do not understand math. Like you don't know how to read, you don't know how to math. 8 out of 5 is an improper fraction that can't work as a ratio.
Oh.
Yeah, 8 out of 5 can't be a real ratio. That's the joke.
Gus, we didn't mess up. It is 92.
That's what I
Where did I mess up? Here's the book. I did
Make sure that you guys give yourself enough space on the graph for the graph.
Okay, we're good. I just bet that one was there on the graph. Or the table. I'm gonna add on to my table, but.
You alright? Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Hold up.
So my graph should look like around this.
Yeah, except for they both end at. Oh, okay. I couldn't read what that was. I looked at it more closely.
Wait, what did you
I don't know if that's the name I really want, Mr. Math Man.
Where did they infect it?
Well, you told me what that tells us.
Maybe we could use that.
Did you think about that table that we just talked about? So, in between here is where you're saying that is. What if you add some tables, like off to the side or something with like month 80, month 81, month 82, month 83, whatever. And like, will they ever actually have the same amount? Like, first, if you're Rochelle, you're paying $100 a month. I'm Henry, I'm paying $20 a month. Which means it takes me 5 times the way you put it. Brenda's on a track of like 20 people like Chubby Bunny Because I'd rather have you doing that than talking about Minecraft. Sorry, I already said that to you. I should.
Oh.
tried this time and that wasn't correct.
I got it.
Then I tried this time.
Alright,
Do they necessarily have to be able to have like the same amount at some point? Anyway, what's 100x minus 60x? Okay, I didn't know wrong, but I'm not. We have a couple minutes to pass that. No, but why is this here?
Wait, is it 100?
Oh, we're doing that. Oh,
Wait, no.
got it.
Two things. Oh, that's almost. Oh, you two the master in yet. Oh, do you want to?
When your mastery's at the point where you're done enough to think it's done, your next homework is up here on this chair, but it probably won't actually be assigned until tomorrow, but you're welcome to get it and work on it. Some of you got it last week at math lunch when you begged me to print it ahead of time. It's 621, yes.
What the? Oh. 80? Oh, I gotta do 85 first. 500.
No.
Yes, this is essentially starting. This is essentially starting 60 months in. This isn't really Henry. Well, after we get to 1700, that's $1,200 of investment for the 5 years. But Rochelle is not 60, right? So really what we're saying here is we're starting 6 months after Henry started investing, but we're calling that 0. We've essentially started Henry over again, but now he's starting at 1700.
Who will win?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Let me try it.
Who will win? Do you think the Hawkins win? Wait, Easton though. You think the Hawkins win?
Did I go?
Yeah, you can go. And I'm still recording, so anything you think you missed, you can always watch later. I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but I'm not going to give much more class time for it. So math lunch is an option too. If you're not me, I'm going to ask that you stop talking. So, if I only cared about Henry, our graph needs to go up to 152 months, because we said that's where college is. Rochelle starts at x equals 60, but we're not going to worry about her for the time being. If I only wanted and only cared about graphing Henry, I could start at 500, right? So there's Graham's money. She should have put it in a bank account for me. And then I go out to my 152 months, and I go up to what I calculated, which was, what, like 3,500? 3,540. So guys, for Henry, we would say we've got some point 152, 3,540. And guys, I can be lazy, which mathematicians like to call efficient because it sounds better than saying lazy. I can be lazy and just connect my start point, end point. Boom, done, dynamite, there we go. Yeah, I literally said you can. You are welcome to. You have my explicit permission. I am literally saying, yes, you are allowed.
So no.
Explicit does not mean bad. Explicit means clear. And then, if I only care about Rochelle, I can start her down here. Because at 60 months, she actually hasn't made an investment yet. But then, if I want to know how many months she invests for, well, what's 152 minus 60? Close. 92. What's 92 times 100? Hot diggity, I like Rochelle's investment plan. 9,200. I'm like way up here, right by my word college.
You should have recycled it.
Yeah, leave that out of recycling if it's got food on it. So then, guys, here, if you're not me, I'm going to ask that you stop talking, please. We all agreed on Henry's graph. We all agreed that Henry's equation, before we started talking about Rochelle, could be 500 plus 20m or x, if we're going to go ahead and switch to using x. What we're having issues agreeing on is that Rochelle would actually have the equation 100m, because she's investing 100 every month, but minus, how much did she miss out on investing with all this time? $6,000. Guys, here's what else this means. Imagine if I had the Desmos button, I click pause right now, and you're all mad at me, but you have to listen and watch. Okay, that was very good acting. Good job. Guys, here's what this means. I need to plug in a certain m just to get back to 0. Well, when m is 60 months, that will get me to 0. And then when m is 61, I'm at positive 100. When m is 62, I'm at positive 200. And this works for this rule where x is the same for both of them. Neither of these relationships would technically be proportional if we say that Rochelle should have started with Henry. Now, I was going to write more, but obviously my words get in the way. I was going to write about them being twins, and you should technically start saving at the same time, and yada yada, but I didn't decide to worry about that. To try to make it impact that Henry starts with money, but doesn't save very much. Rochelle starts with no money, but because she saves more, gets a lot more progress a lot more quickly. This point right here does not necessarily mean that the answer is yes, they have the same amount of money. This is mathematically, there's an intersection of the two equations. That does not mean that in real life, we will ever actually have the same exact amount of money, but we might. Because I don't know, 20 and 100 get along. So they might get along, they might not. But if we use these two equations, we should be able to figure it out. This m should be x, my bad. That m should be x. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk to you guys about. Sure. Although I didn't realize I left it paused, but sure. What's up?
I still don't know. I can't. If you start at 0, what would your m be? 152 or 0?
Who's 0?
0 is after 60 months.
No, who's 0? Henry 0?
Well, you said that Henry's starting over his stuff. So 0 is actually 60 months. Where he starts.
Well, but 0 can't equal 60. We have to make a choice. Guys, what Desmos are you asking me to unpause?
It's a joke.
Oh, I thought you were actually going to work on you were done and wanting to work on Desmos. Guys, I don't feel great today. I got a headache. I just am trying to make it through the day. We're all good, but don't. Yeah, if I don't realize it's a joke, you might have to explain it. So, if we're using Henry's amount of months as our x, which is what I've set up here. When x is 0, Henry has not invested anything except for his grandma gave him cash. So Henry's x goes up to 152. So does Rochelle's. But Rochelle is late to start saving. That is why we can still use x for Rochelle, although we need to start somewhere negative to compensate for the fact that x has to become a number before we get anywhere positive. Colin, stop it.
Okay. So I think I understand that. So I did those calculations. But they're the same as when they leave for college. Does that make sense?
I mean, her having that when she leaves and him having that when he leaves, those things make sense.
Okay. But I got that when I calculated for 0.
I don't know what you
Or
mean.
not 0, but
152? You're right, because here you compensated for Rochelle being late to the game.
right.
This is her being late.
Right.
Money she did not invest.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Are we allowed
But if you go ahead and plug in your 152 and take away the 60, how many months did she actually save for? Actually 92. You're saying the same thing. When Henry has saved for 152, Rochelle has only saved for 92.
So in ground, go ahead.
Are we allowed to use decimal tablets?
Not on the test.
So when I make a table, would I want to start at 0?
I do. But Rochelle stays at 0 for a while.
Okay. 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 Okay.
I'm like you already have written down. It's 81.25.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is very confusing to me, and I don't know why. That was
Because
so
you're learning.
confusing.
Like, you are this is real learning. It's a good thing. I know you don't like me, but it's a good thing.
It's not that I don't like you, I don't like this problem.
Well,
That
now
you
you
wrote.
sound like Max.
Okay.
No. A lot of stuff happened here, so I just didn't have to focus on that.
Hey, it's alright to get it wrong before we get it right.
It was like right over here, but we didn't know we did 200. There's 0. And yeah, it just didn't work out. So clean work over here.
There you go.
And I wanted to find this, so I did. Right. Is that right?
I don't know.
Do you have to write the amount or can I just like
I mean, the question I'm asking you is there a moment, like a day, when they actually have the same amount in the coffee can and in the lockbox? I didn't say you're right, I said okay.
I'm gonna assume that's a yes. Risk it for victory. G. No. Wait, B. B. Mr. Hudson, you have a typo.
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys already notified me of that on Friday.
What?
That I have a typo because I have B on there twice.
Oh, I see. On the math.
That's alright. On the social studies math week too, there was like a question that said does the answer to the question apply? The question was
Ooh, we got a little synced off there. Here's the deal. If you're not done with this, and you are actually going to take more time to work on it today/tonight, you may take it with you, because I got Math 7 papers to grade out my ears. I can grade your guys' stuff tomorrow night. It's fine. However, if you're going to take it and lose it, or take it and do nothing with it, we've already put in a lot of class time into this work. Don't do that. So if you turn it in right now and you're not done, you're going to end up with progressing, and we're going to correct this together probably. or like if you need to correct it, and that's okay. And guys, exactly what I was just saying to Brandon, I've said to a few of you guys, learning is not like super duper comfortable. Because when we're truly learning something, we start by not knowing what we're doing. Guys, and I'm currently planning my my sister-in-law's wedding. I really just normally call her my sister. But I'm thinking about like relationships. And guys, one thing that when you find somebody that you're really good with, whether it be a friend or a partner or whatever, is like that they can help you get through that moment of like, I don't know what I'm doing! Because that's okay. It's okay to not know what you're doing as long as you stick with it until you figure out what you're doing. So like find some friends who help tell you like it's okay that you feel uncomfortable right now. We're learning. Once you have learned and it's past tense, we move on and we make it harder all over again. Sure. I'm still probably going to grade what I can.
I have one problem.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. I just.
Alright, and then pack it up. Oh, I got to brag about my socks too. If the rain last night was snow, it would have been approximately a foot of snow. So I'm going to try to say keep it cool. We gotta get some snow up in this.
Is it? Should we finish it when I'm done?
Yeah, if you have time and you're able to. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Because you got to finish it at some point, right? We're just Phoenix, and if you're not done now, it's not that big of a deal.
I surprisingly.
Nice. I surprisingly gave you guys 2 days to do this. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to turn in homework, by the way. 613 and 14.
Lucky.